Rain lashed down on the ruined land. Lin Luo knelt amidst the debris, his broken spirit mirroring the desolate battlefield. The red sky screamed of loss. The rain couldn't wash away the stains of defeat. On the desolate battlefield, fallen warriors lay broken, their lives extinguished in a brutal final moment. The desolate battlefield is drenched in rain and blood, fallen warriors litter the ground, their lives extinguished amidst the downpour. This is the bitter cost of loss. Blood streamed from Lin Luo's eyes, mingling with the rain. His ragged breath, a mournful gasp, echoed his profound despair amidst utter ruin. Rain poured on the desolate battlefield, a grim testament to the countless fallen. Lin Luo stood amidst the ruin, his cloak tattered, his heart heavy with the weight of so many lost lives. Rain mixed with blood and tears on Lin Luo's face. His eyes burned with despair and fury. Defeat had him by the throat. Rain poured as Lin Luo, bloodied, stared ahead. His golden eyes blazed with intense rage, despair etched on his face. This was the cost of a terrible oversight. Rain and blood mingled on Lin Luo's face. His golden eyes blazed, a furious scream tore from his throat. Even now, he refused to fall. Under the stormy sky, Lin Luo stood victorious upon the colossal, defeated winged demon. The fierce battle was finally over. The colossal Ahayut revealed himself, his eyes burning with immense power. 20 days after his sudden appearance, his aura radiated light, with white feathers falling around him. Ahayut, ablaze with power, floats above chaos. Two horned winged figures stand below, their glowing eyes reflecting the havoc he has unleashed. Rain poured, washing over Lin Luo's battered form. His bandaged arm throbbed, yet his resolve burned hotter, refusing to break. Under a blood-red rain-swept sky, Lin Luo kneels amidst the rubble of a ravaged land, a defeated monstrous foe nearby. The silence speaks of immense loss and destruction. Lin Luo's boot presses firmly on the pale, defeated foe. Rain washes over the grim scene, but a chilling whisper echoes, Ahayut will soon return to his side. Amidst the cold rain, Lin Luo, covered in blood, glared with burning yellow eyes. His grim resolve hardened as he spoke, promising a reunion with fallen comrades. Amidst the pouring rain, Lin Luo stands over the defeated colossal winged demon. He demands answers from the fallen foe about its friends who accompanied it. Great powers clashed in the past. A fierce red dragon incinerated a giant, while the ancient Lorhan sealed another formidable being away for all time. Even drenched in blood and rain, Lin Luo's burning gaze and twisted grin promised pure, unyielding vengeance. The fight had only just begun. Amidst the downpour, Lin Luo stood victorious over the fallen demon, but the battle was far from over. A chilling truth echoed, connecting his enemies through a shared, dark sense. Rain washes over Lin Luo's blood-streaked face. Wounded, he grits his teeth, his golden eyes blazing with grim, unyielding resolve. Lin Luo stood over the defeated monster in the pouring rain, a blood-red sky overhead. A chilling truth echoed, strong people like him no longer had a place in this dying world. Even with blood and rain streaking his face, Lin Luo's golden eye burned with fierce defiance. Battered but unbroken, he roared back, refusing to accept defeat. He was still standing. A sharp blade glinted menacingly close to Lin Luo's golden eye, yet his gaze remained fiercely defiant even as an unseen threat encroached upon him. An unseen enemy's boot pressed down on Lin Luo. Taunts filled the air, mocking his wasted potential. Rain mixed with blood, but Lin Luo's defiant grimace held strong. Rain and blood streaked Lin Luo's face, yet his golden eyes blazed with fury. Battered but unbroken, he roared back, his will unwavering against his unseen tormentor. Rain pours as Lin Luo stands over the defeated colossal winged demon, boot on its head, blade poised. The demon, despite its demise, respects Lin Luo's strength. Amidst the crimson downpour, Lin Luo's hand fiercely seized the weapon, defiantly locking with his tormentor's gloved grip. The battle was far from over. Rain mixed with blood as Lin Luo gasped for air, the enemy's cruel words echoing. His world teetered on the brink, a grim truth he now faced. The colossal demon lay broken, its pale face streaked with rain. The world, like this monster, would soon be engulfed by the starlight, swallowed into oblivion. Rain poured as Lin Luo brought his blade down, a blinding strike against the colossal demon. His resolve burned, a final judgment delivered. A dark, swirling energy erupts, a blinding light tearing through the crimson chaos. An ominous, unknown power begins to awaken, distorting everything around it. Amidst the ruin and rain, Lin Luo stands, cloaked and grim. The mighty demon lies broken before him, a hard-fought victory for the lone warrior. Rain and blood streaked Lin Luo's face as he took a ragged breath. His golden eyes, burning with fierce resolve, stared into the grim, red-tinged gloom. Amidst the relentless downpour, crimson pooled on the ground, a grim testament to what was lost. What can be done about things already past? A voice wonders, heavy with resignation. Lin Luo gasped, blood staining his lips. Rain lashed down, washing over his battered body as a grim red sky loomed. He drew a ragged breath, defiance battling despair. Battered and soaked in the relentless rain, Lin Luo drew a ragged breath. Blood streaked his face, yet his golden eyes held an unyielding defiance amidst the storm. Under the relentless rain, Lin Luo sits, trapped and vulnerable. A circle of menacing figures looms, their chilling grins casting a dark shadow over the desolate camp. Lin Luo stood, a wary look in his dark eyes, as an imposing figure towered beside him. The air felt heavy with unspoken tension. A new presence. The man turned, a scar above his brow, a confident smirk on his face. His eyes challenged Lin Luo. Lin Luo sat, a polite smile hiding his guarded thoughts as menacing figures watched him. The camp's tension was thick, a silent game of power at play. A new commander, armored and smirking, regarded Lin Luo. Surrounded by menacing figures, Lin Luo met his gaze, the air thick with tension and the ground glowing red. Rain mixed with blood on young Lin Luo's face. Beaten and broken, he lay amidst the ruin, his consciousness fading as the downpour continued. Blood streamed from Lin Luo's eye, his golden gaze burning with defiance. Even beaten, his voice cracked with grim realization. Under a crimson sky, Lin Luo stood alone amidst the fallen. The rain washed over the battlefield as his gaze hardened, dismissing the foolish choices of his enemies. Rain lashed down on the ruined ground. An injured figure knelt amidst the debris as a voice echoed, questioning the futile pride of those who fell. Lin Luo grimaced in pain, his bloodied face held firm by a dark-gloved hand. Mocking words echoed, silencing his defiance in the desolate, red-hued moment. Under a crimson rainy sky, Lin Luo knelt amidst the fallen. He wondered why was his blade the only one capable of felling the mighty giants. Rain and blood streaked Lin Luo's battered face. His golden eyes, though filled with pain, held a grim defiance reflecting on sacrifices made. Amidst the crimson rain, Lin Luo knelt alone, broken.
Three of his losses pressed down, leaving him hollow and unsure. What now?
Rain and blood streamed down Lin Luo's battered face. His golden eyes, wide with shock and pain, stared into the grim crimson world. Battered and bleeding in the relentless crimson rain, Lin Luo couldn't move. Then, a voice cut through the downpour, startling him. His golden eyes, wide with fresh shock, reflected the crimson rain. Blood mingled with the downpour on Lin Luo's face as an unsettling voice spoke. The oppressor's heavy boot pressed down, silencing all resistance. A sharp blade plunged into the muddy ground, echoing the despair of the crimson rain. Lin Luo stood amidst the fallen, a lone figure in the crimson rain-swept desolation. A voice cut through the downpour, filled with disbelief. Someone was still alive. Injured and bloodied, Lin Luo clutched his staff, his teeth gritted in silent defiance. The crimson rain mirrored his pain, yet he would not yield. Blood and rain streamed down Lin Luo's face. His golden eyes, wide with shock and searing pain, reflected a crushing, unsettling truth. Battered, Lin Luo gazed down from a ruined height at the crimson-soaked world. An imposing figure stood below, a silent challenge in the desolate landscape. Despite his wounds and the ceaseless rain, Lin Luo stared back, a bloodied smirk gracing his lips. He was still here, alive and defiant, much to someone's surprise. Lin Luo's golden eyes snapped wide, blood streaking his face as he flinched. The crimson rain blurred, reflecting a sudden, stunning realization. Rain poured. From Lin Luo's torn, bloodied leg, drops of crimson slowly fell, painting the grim ground. The pain was undeniable. Amidst the pouring rain, a bloodied woman stood resolute, her fierce gaze unyielding. Adeshan, her name, a silent declaration in the storm-swept world. Under the crimson rain, Lin Luo watched. Adeshan, wounded yet defiant, stood firm amidst the desolate storm, a faint glow around her head, her spirit unbroken. Amidst the crimson rain, Ronan stands over the wounded Adeshan, sharp words cut through the downpour as he questions her command, only for her to retort, reminding him of his own rank. Amidst the crimson rain, Lin Luo, blood staining his face, stared ahead. His eye burned with one urgent question, wondering if Ahayut was truly gone. Amidst the crimson rain, Edishan, wounded yet defiant, stared up. Lin Luo stood over her, confirming a grim act, the tension thick between them in the desolate aftermath. Under the crimson rain, Lin Luo's golden eyes, streaked with blood, hardened. He understood now, a grim realization settled deep within him. Amidst the crimson downpour, Lin Luo's battered face etched with despair. Rain and blood mingled as a single, shattering truth escaped his lips. Amidst the crimson rain, Adishan's tears mixed with blood, a raw thank you escaping her lips for Corporal Ronan, a moment of profound gratitude and despair. Under the crimson rain, Adishan's raw grief finally broke, tears and blood streaming as Lin Luo watched, his own expression grim and conflicted. Bloodied yet resolute, Lin Luo met her gaze with a confident, almost cunning smile, raising a gloved finger as a crucial request hung in the crimson rain. Amidst the crimson rain and fallen, Lin Luo sat with Adeshan. Despite his wounds, he asked her to treat the fallen soldiers with respect, going against harsh regulations. Bloodied and weary, Lin Luo offered a pained, knowing smirk. Even at death's door, his words carried a sharp edge, deflecting responsibility with a bitter truth. Under the crimson rain, Lin Luo coughed violently, his body betraying him. Adeshan watched, a flicker of surprise and worry in her eyes, as his wounds took their toll. Rain mixed with blood in Lin Luo's outstretched palm, a grim testament to his worsening injuries. Each drop echoed the brutal toll of battle. Blood stained his lips, rain washed over his battered face. Lin Luo knew his end was near, yet his golden eyes held a fierce, defiant glint against the crimson downpour. Under a relentless crimson rain, Lin Luo and Adishan sat, their bodies broken, silently awaiting their fate in the desolate landscape. Amidst the crimson rain, Adishan questioned Lin Luo's survival and desires. Despite his bleeding wounds, he met her gaze with a sly, defiant smile, revealing a spirit unbroken. Amidst the crimson rain, Lin Luo slumped, gravely wounded. Blood stained his face, yet his distant golden eyes revealed a silent, profound thought. What weighed on him now? Wounded Adishan, amidst the crimson rain, wondered aloud about a distant academy. Lin Luo, still gravely hurt, echoed her thought, a moment of fleeting hope. Lin Luo's boot pressed hard on the defeated demon's head. Victory was his, yet the words of that arrogant giant, a Haiyut, still gnawed at him, even in the crimson rain. A gentle smile, framed by long white hair, seemed to whisper a cherished wish. To attend the academy, a dream held for another. Bloodied and broken, Lin Luo looked up. A sorrowful longing for his family etched on his face, facing his grim fate. Amidst the crimson rain, Lin Luo offered hope of rescue, but a deeply wounded Adishan, grimacing in pain, believed herself beyond saving, her words laced with resignation. Rain streaked Lin Luo's weary face. His golden eye held a dismissive gaze, finding no value in the words spoken, enduring the endless crimson downpour. The crimson rain continued to fall as if the heavens themselves wept. From the clouds, a luminous drop descended, hitting the surface below with a silent, mournful splash. Lin Luo's golden eye widened in disbelief. Next to him, Adishan's bloodied gaze mirrored the same raw shock. What unfolding horror gripped them now? Amidst the bloody devastation, Lin Luo and Adishan exchanged stunned looks. The endless crimson rain, a relentless witness to their pain, had suddenly, inexplicably stopped. A profound silence descended. Just as the crimson rain ceased, a blinding flash and immense force crashed down. Lin Luo and Adishan, both wounded, could only watch in stunned, wide-eyed horror. Lin Luo stared, golden eyes wide with disbelief and pain. Blood stained his face as a horrifying reality struck him. Then, as the crimson rain ceased, a new, blinding light filled the sky. A towering, eight-winged entity emerged, radiating immense divine power, striking awe and disbelief. Amidst the fiery skies, a Haiyut stood supreme, his winged legion gathering. A silent, watchful entity with a single red eye observed their rise. A Haiyut soared, a god among his legion of winged warriors, their ascent painting the sky in fiery gold. A new era, brutal and undeniable, had begun. Under a fiery sky, a Haiyut's vast winged legion ascended, their mighty forms filling the heavens. A new era of dominance began. Lin Luo watched, stunned, as a towering eight-winged entity and its radiant legion descended from the blazing sky, an overwhelming divine force. Adishan stared, blood and tears mixing on her face, her eyes wide with utter disbelief. No, the battle wasn't over. A chilling realization dawned, the true terror had just begun. Lin Luo's battered face showed raw shock, blood mixing with tears. The world was lost. Again. Was this truly a third chance? His bloodied eye stared wide with a crushing realization. There was no way forward, only one chance left. Then, a desperate cry pierced the gloom. Commander! Lin Luo's desperate cry of Grand Commander ripped through the air, his face contorted in pain and alarm. Adishan, bloodied and stunned, could only gasp in horror at the unfolding catastrophe. Bloodied and defiant, Lin Luo screamed his frustration to the blazing sky. He cursed, unable to reach the powerful, ascending threats with his current strength. Bloodied and disoriented, Adishan stared in disbelief.
What? You're not going to eliminate them?
Her shock echoed through the grim aftermath. Adishan stared in disbelief, but Lin Luo, despite his wounds, gripped his blade. Above them the winged legion descended, yet his defiance burned bright against the impossible sky. Blood dripped, but Lin Luo's golden eyes blazed with fierce resolve. Clenching his simple weapon, he stood his ground, ready to fight to the bitter end. Lin Luo, consumed by rage, unleashed a furious sword strike. His roar defied the blazing, ruined world as Adishan lay fallen, a desperate battle continuing. Adishan's bloodied face showed utter disbelief. Despite everything, Lin Luo still refused to break, his spirit unyielding even now against impossible odds. Even covered in blood, Lin Luo's golden eyes burned with fierce resolve. He gritted his teeth, his spirit unbroken against the fiery, chaotic sky. Lin Luo looked up, a silhouette against the blazing sky. The colossal eight-winged entity and its legion descended. This overwhelming power, could he truly face it? Lin Luo, bloodied and battered, stared in stunned disbelief. Amidst the fiery sky, a voice called to him, snapping him from the chaos. Bloodied and exhausted, Lin Luo's golden eye burned with fierce resolve. Amidst the fiery sky, he snapped at an unseen voice. "I'm busy, so stop talking." Lin Luo's golden eyes snapped wide, his bloodied face contorted in raw shock. A sudden, unexpected sound or sight broke through the chaos, leaving him utterly stunned. Lin Luo and Adishan, bloodied and reeling, gazed up in profound shock. Above them, the radiant seraphic winged legion descended from the fiery, apocalyptic sky. What new terror was this? Bloodied and defiant, Lin Luo consumed the glowing orb. A raw, desperate power surged, the fight far from over. Bloodied and disoriented, Lin Luo cried out, clinging to Adishan. His wide golden eyes stared in shock, questioning what desperate measure she had just taken under the fiery, chaotic sky. Lin Luo, bloodied and dazed, leaned into Adishan, his mind a blur from her drastic act. The world around them still burned in a painful, fiery haze. Bloodied and utterly disoriented, Lin Luo could only gasp in confusion, trying to comprehend Adishan's drastic, mysterious act as she held him close. Lin Luo screamed, raw shock and confusion distorting his face. Adishan's hand steadied him, her eyes fixed on his, as the blood-soaked ground around them mirrored the dire situation. Bloodied and disoriented, Lin Luo stared blankly as Adishan held him close, her voice calling his name. The chaotic sky mirrored his utter confusion. Lin Luo's late sister appears in a vivid memory, her gentle smile and heartfelt plea echoing a hope for his future. Bloodied, Lin Luo gazed up at the brilliant eight-winged entity and its radiant legion descending. He reflected on everything he had done. Was it truly enough? Amidst the pain, Lin Luo offered a quiet, blood-stained smile. His eyes closed, as if finding a bitter peace, acknowledging a path not taken. A colossal winged hand, crackling with energy, seized a glowing blue orb. Raw power surged, threatening to shatter the very air around it. Lin Luo and Adishan stood together, gazing into an overwhelming divine light that pulsed with mysterious glowing symbols. A profound new chapter had begun. The world was swallowed by a dazzling, overwhelming light, pulsating with arcane power. This wasn't just an attack, it was a new beginning. From the dark heavens, the ethereal entity's potent blue orb descended, radiating an ominous glow, a new power unleashed upon the world. Lin Luo's golden eyes snapped wide, a raw gasp escaping him. What shocking truth had just been revealed? The sky, once a fiery chaos, now stretched in impossibly bright blue. Amidst this sudden calm, a fragmented thought, a faint echo of a desperate cry, hung in the air. Under an impossibly clear blue sky, Lin Luo's uninjured hand reached for the lush grass. A voice echoed, "Grand Commander, a new beginning or another cycle." Lin Luo stood under the impossibly clear blue sky, the vibrant green world a stark contrast to his bloody past. A voice called out, pulling his gaze upward. Green fields stretched before a peaceful village, bathed under a clear blue sky. After endless battle, such serenity felt impossible. Children laughed, playing freely by the sparkling river. A simple raft carried one, while others called from the peaceful bank. A clear sky, a world reborn, serene and innocent. Lin Luo's hand, once bloodied, now gently brushed the vibrant green grass. An impossibly clear blue sky promised a fragile new peace. Under the impossibly clear blue sky, Lin Luo gasped, a surprised Heo Ki, escaping him as a new call beckoned. His world had truly changed. Lin Luo sat amidst lush green grass, his golden eyes wide with shock, a clear blue sky above, no more crimson rain. Had he truly returned to the past, to his peaceful hometown? Lin Luo slumped beneath the vast tree, a deep sigh escaping him. Under the bright, clear sky, this serene world felt impossibly real after all the horrors. Lin Luo gripped his head, golden eyes wide with shock and dread. The Grand Commander's words, they were true. A crushing weight settled upon him. Lin Luo, bloodied and disoriented, is held close by Adishan. His golden eyes are wide with shock as menacing winged figures descend from the fiery, chaotic sky, deepening his confusion. Amidst the burning chaos, a bloodied and disoriented Lin Luo cried out, held close by Adishan, his golden eyes wide with shock at her desperate act. Adishan, her face streaked with blood, spoke of her past. Once a tailor, she rose to become a grand commander, her grim expression hardening under the vast starry sky. Adishan stands at a crossroads, her past as a humble tailor reflecting her present as a stern grand commander. Both versions are illuminated by a glowing orb, hinting at profound choices and power. A glowing blue orb hung in the cosmic darkness, its ethereal light a stark reminder. 3 chances were spent, leaving only one final gamble. With bloodied eyes wide, Lin Luo stared ahead. A grave voice spoke, passing on immense power, a burden to slay the giants now resting on his shoulders. In the desolate twilight woods, Lin Luo stood firm. Sword ready, from the looming shadows, a deep voice resonated, declaring him the key to saving the world from ruin. Lin Luo, with minor cuts marking his face, listens intently. Another figure, their ear visible, speaks quietly, guiding him to hone his potential. The hushed words confirm a shared desire for strength. Under the pounding rain, a battered Lin Luo slumped, bloodied and exhausted. Even in his pain, a quiet longing for a different path flickered within him, a memory from a desperate time. The majestic Philion Academy stands under a brilliant sky, a new path forward, a place where greatness gathers, offering hope and knowledge for what lies ahead. Bloodied and disoriented, Lin Luo looks up, golden eyes wide with shock. Someone is calling his name, cutting through the chaos of the fiery, starlit battlefield. Adishan, bloodied and weary, offered a pained smile, her wide eyes holding a quiet, defiant promise against the desolate sky. If we meet again, Adishan, in a warm memory, smiled gently in her tailor's workshop. A fleeting thought of a simpler life, before the battles, before the pain, before becoming Grand Commander. Bloodied and broken, Lin Luo looked up at the overwhelming celestial host. The ethereal 8-winged entity and its legion descended, a divine force beyond compare. He reflected on his journey. The weight of the prophecy crushed Lin Luo. He gripped his head, sweat beading as a troubling truth settled in. Damn it, he muttered, defeated. Under the impossibly clear sky, Lin Luo desperately clutched the tree, his heart crying out, begging this peaceful reality not to be a dream. 2 figures watched his raw despair. Amidst his hometown's peaceful streets, Lin Luo wrestled with disbelief. If this return was real, how could he alone tackle the monumental task awaiting him? Lin Luo grasped the tree, his golden eyes wide with shock. This wasn't a dream. This peaceful world, it truly was the past. His hand tightened around the rough stick. A new resolve, born from his crushing burdens, began to harden. Then, Lin Luo stood beneath the ancient tree, looking up at the clear sky. The quiet moment held the weight of his chosen path, his resolve firm. Lin Luo's foot firmly presses into the lush green earth. With a soft thump, a new path begins, a quiet resolve echoing his unspoken thought. Lin Luo sprinted towards the blinding light, a simple stick his only companion. Each step was fueled by a fierce hope, a promise to reach what he yearned for most. Lin Luo pounded through the peaceful town streets, his stick gripped tight, urgent footsteps scattering the quiet. Passers-by turned, surprised by his sudden rush. Lin Luo dashes through the busy streets, a sly grin on his face. He's found a new path and nothing will stop his determined advance. Lin Luo's focused sprint abruptly faltered. His golden eye widened and a surprised "huh" escaped his lips. What new challenge or mystery lay ahead? Lin Luo's dash froze. Before him, a helpless figure hung from a tree surrounded by a grinning group of thugs. The piece of his past was already broken by these punks. The cruel reality of the past hit hard. A young man hung helplessly from a tree, his tormentors grinning. This casual malice in his hometown fueled Lin Luo's rising anger. Lin Luo let out a sigh. Even in this peaceful past, the familiar, smug grins of his old tormentors hadn't changed. Some things, it seemed, were just relentlessly constant. Lin Luo's golden eyes widened. This wasn't simple bullying. The child hung by invisible magic, a jarring discovery in this supposed peaceful past. Lin Luo's eyes widened, a bead of sweat trickling. A sudden, unsettling realization struck him. This peaceful town held dangers far beyond common thugs. Beneath the clear sky and green leaves, a thought surfaced in Lin Luo's mind. He realized a crucial event from around this time was about to unfold, or had already begun. A young mage girl stood, surrounded by swirling magic, her eyes wide with shock. They were here, she thought, confirming Lin Luo's earlier fears about hidden powers in this peaceful past. Her wide purple eyes filled with profound worry. Sweat beaded on her brow as the startled mage girl trembled, deeply fearing for the bullied child's fate. The victim hung upside down, weak pleas for it to stop barely heard. Below, the bullies watched, their leader and grinning henchmen unmoved by the magical torment. Hanging upside down, magic pulsed around his legs. The victim's plea echoed, "I really don't have any money." His torment was far from over. The victim desperately pleaded about his mother's expensive medicine, but his tormentor only scoffed, clutching him tightly, unmoved by his suffering. The bully smirked, holding the helpless boy upside down. His pleas for his sick mother meant nothing to them. The other thugs watched, indifferent. The blonde-haired bully's face contorted in rage, his arm raised as he yelled fiercely, demanding respect. A brutal impact. The victim's pleas turned to a raw gasp, his face contorted in agony as the torment escalated. Another brutal strike ripped through the air. The tormentors, their faces twisted in cruel snickers, watched the suffering continue, unbothered by the violence. The blonde-haired bully roared, his fury startling the young mage, her magical energy still swirling around her trembling hands. The bully's cruel command echoed, demanding the victim be lifted higher. The mage girl gasped, magic swirling as shock gripped her. The startled mage girl hesitated, scared to escalate the torment, but the blonde-haired bully just scoffed, cruelly mocking her fear with his harsh words. The blonde-haired bully's face contorted in a furious snarl, eyes wide with hateful resolve. He barked a harsh command, forcing the hesitant magic user, Asel, to escalate the cruel torment. Asel's eyes widened in terror, magic swirling in her hands. The bully's chilling threat echoed, leaving her frozen between fear and a terrible command. Asel's wide, terrified eyes stared blankly. How did it come to this? Sweat beaded on her face as panic set in. Asel, in a simpler time, proudly showcased her magic, levitating fruits to an appreciative crowd. A moment of pure joy, wanting to prove her worth. Asel's magic pulsed with reluctance, but a cruel hand seized her wrist, forcing her power to obey against her will. Asel's magic flickered, tears streaming down her face. Utterly terrified, she was trapped between her profound fear and the bully's cruel demands. Asel's face contorted in sheer terror, sweat running cold. Even forced, a desperate defiance ignited within her. She had to speak. Surrounded by cruel, smirking faces, Asel, with her hands clasped, could only utter a desperate plea, her eyes hidden in despair as the bullies reveled. With desperate resolve, Asel pleaded, her magic flaring to halt the cruel torment. The air filled with a swift whoosh, as the brutal attack continued. Lin Luo lunges forward, shouting to stop the brutal attack. Asel cries out in shock and pain as a log whizzes past, narrowly missing her. Kwang, a sudden impact sent the bullied boy crashing to the ground. The blonde-haired bully and his henchmen stared in stunned surprise, leaves scattering around them. The blonde-haired bully's face twisted into a furious snarl, sweat beading as he unleashed a roar of pure frustration. His cruel game had been definitively disrupted. Enraged, the blonde-haired bully screams at Asel, who recoils in terror, desperately trying to explain her actions. The tension is palpable as his fury erupts. Asel's eyes widened with worry, her heart pounding as the bully sneered, "Stop worrying about trash like him." The tense air crackled. Lin Luo turned to Asel, his eyes firm. "Come, talk with me," he stated. Asel, startled, looked up, a question forming on her lips as she recognized him. Lin Luo's golden eye holds a firm gaze as he addresses the furious blonde-haired bully whose rage boils over, demanding to know what Lin Luo is doing. Lin Luo questions Acel about her magic, his gaze direct. She answers, looking a little shy, that she learned it from a grimoire bought from a peddler. Lin Luo's golden eyes widened in sudden realization as the blonde-haired bully, enraged, questioned how such powerful magic could come from a mere cheap grimoire. Lin Luo, deep in thought, considered Acel's magic, a humble power, yet he saw its amazing potential, a crucial piece in his battle against the looming giants. Lin Luo's deep thoughts are cut short by a sudden sharp sound. An unseen hand grips a polished blade, hinting at an immediate unknown presence. The blonde-haired bully roared, his eyes blazing with fury as he gripped a glowing sword. He would not be ignored. The blonde-haired bully's eyes glowed with furious rage. He spat venom, recalling a past where he claimed to have purposefully held back, escalating their clash. With a powerful strike, Lin Luo sent the blonde-haired bully flying backward through the air, his sword still clutched in hand. Today I'll correct those manners. Lin Lu's golden eyes narrowed at the gleaming longsword. This punk was more serious than he looked. The fight was far from over. The blonde-haired bully's face twisted into a furious snarl, his eyes wide with rage. He had claimed he merely let them win before, but now the real fight was on. The blonde-haired bully, now recovered, spins his longsword in a fierce attack. Lin Luo watches, unmoving, ready for anything. The blonde-haired bully's eyes widened in utter disbelief. He dodged it? That fast? His fury turned to shock, the fight's momentum shifting. Lin Luo's golden eye shone with fierce resolve. Though his body was younger, the soldier's discipline ingrained in him remained, steady and unwavering. Young Lin Luo stood, startled, as a grim, battle-scarred figure of his future self appeared behind him, embodying the harsh battle senses now awakening within him. The blonde-haired bully sneered, his sword drawn, threatening Lin Luo, but Lin Luo, holding his staff, only met the malice with a dry, ironic remark about his own luck. The blonde-haired bully smirked, his long sword gleaming. He offered a twisted mercy, beg for your life, but lose an arm. A chilling choice. Lin Luo held the glinting blade to his own neck, his golden eyes flat and unimpressed. Wow, I'm scared, he deadpanned, his calm a stark contrast to the danger. A cruel, mocking threat about his sister hung in the air. Yet, Lin Luo simply held the longsword to his own neck, his golden eyes flat, an ironic calm in his stance. The blonde-haired bully with a cruel grin continued to hurl vile, explicit insults about Lin Luo's sister. The air itself seemed to darken with his words. Lin Luo's eyes, now blazing crimson, pulsed with raw fury. The bully's vile words had unleashed a storm, and judgment was coming. Lin Luo's fury erupted. The world fractured as raw, crimson power burst forth, a violent answer to the vile taunts. The air shrieked as Lin Luo's wrath struck. The blonde-haired bully's face twisted in shock, a sickening splatter marking the force of the blow. Lin Luo's fury erupted. The blonde-haired bully's ear was violently severed, flying through the air as he could only manage a stunned, disbelieving, "Huh?" The brutal clang of steel ripped through the air, a sharp, violent echo of Lin Luo's unbridled fury. The blonde-haired bully screamed, clutching his bleeding head. Lin Luo's raw fury had taken its brutal toll. The blonde-haired bully screamed, clutching his bloody severed ear. His henchmen stood frozen, faces pale with shock and terror at the brutal retaliation. Lin Luo's heavy boot landed, breaking the stunned silence, his voice, steady and cold, cut through the air. "Hey?" Lin Luo loomed over the blonde-haired bully, his face shrouded in shadow. The bully, still reeling from the devastating blow, looked up and spat a defiant curse. "You fucking punk." Lin Luo's golden eyes blazed with furious power, an ominous presence radiating from him. A chilling question hung heavy in the air. "Do you want to die?" Lin Luo stood over the kneeling blonde-haired bully, his fury leaving a chilling silence. Acel watched, stunned, while the other bullies could only stare in wide-eyed shock. The bullies could only stare, their faces twisted in disbelief and fear. What just happened, it was beyond anything they expected. The wooden stick, now slick with blood, hung heavy, a stark, grim testament to the raw, visceral fury Lin Luo had just unleashed. Lin Luo turned to the stunned bullies, his words cutting through the tense air, asking if they enjoyed the brutal display he just put on. They flinched, clutching their sticks in shock. Lin Luo's foot pressed down on the bully's head, his golden eyes cold and firm. "Want to end up like him?" he challenged, the message clear. Lin Luo's bloodied stick dripped as the blonde-haired bully slumped, clutching his bleeding head. The victor's cold demand was clear: pay for the theft and for his ruined mood. Under Lin Luo's silent command, the terrified bullies stammered, offering to return everything. His brutal lesson had been learned. The victim stared, wide-eyed, clutching the heavy bag of gold. After all he endured, the unexpected return left him utterly speechless. The victim stared, wide-eyed, at the unexpected wealth far more than he'd lost. Lin Luo, calm and resolute, simply watched, sword in hand. The quiet exchange marked a new kind of justice. The victim, tears of joy streaming, clutched the heavy sack. Lin Luo's resolute words promised a future where the bullies wouldn't dare raise their heads again. Lin Luo, calm and decisive, gently waved away the victim's lingering gratitude, simply urging him to go home. The conflict was over, a new path forward. Asel, blushing softly, hesitantly faced them. Lin Luo and the victim watched her, surprised by her quiet demeanor after the chaos. Asel Sep's face was etched with distress, sweat beading as she struggled to form words. She began, I'm really sore. Asel bowed her head low, her apology a quiet whisper. Lin Luo and his new companion watched, the tense silence heavy under the open sky. The blonde-haired bully's face contorted in raw shock and chilling regret. He knew he shouldn't have gone that far, but now it was too late. Asel's face was etched with deep regret. The choice is made, the words said. The aftermath weighed heavily on her conscience. Asel's face was streaked with tears, her wide purple eyes filled with regret. But I was so scared, she stammered, that I couldn't stop myself. Her guilt hung heavy in the air. Overcome with remorse, Asel bowed her head, expressing her deep regret. Lin Luo watched, calm and observant, while the victim stood wide-eyed, still clutching his unexpected compensation. Lin Luo offers a soft, knowing smile, a gentle exhale escaping him. He reflects on Asel's past fear, recognizing a shared vulnerability in her tears. Asel's wide purple eyes welled with tears and sweat, reflecting profound regret. The memory of being dragged into this torment still shook her to her core, leaving her utterly heartbroken. Asel faced the victim, her words quiet but heavy with regret, while Lin Luo watched on. A moment of pause, a chance for genuine apology in the aftermath of violence. Asel's wide purple eyes, filled with deep sorrow, looked towards the victim. A shared understanding of pain lingered in her gaze, a heavy burden in her heart. Lin Luo's hand rested gently on Asel's shoulder. Don't blame yourself too much, Asel, he softly told her, offering a moment of quiet understanding. A bright, joyful smile finally graces the victim's face, his burden lifted. Holding his compensation, he hears the comforting words. It's not your fault. The victim, unburdened, gently placed a hand on Asel's shoulder. I appreciate your apology, he said softly, a gesture of peace as Lin Luo watched. Alone, clutching his unexpected fortune, the victim stands quietly in the village square, reflecting on his new path. Asel waved goodbye, a hint of sadness in her wide purple eyes. Lin Luo watched, composed, as the peaceful scene unfolded. Lin Luo's golden eyes narrowed slightly in deep thought, a quiet, escaping his lips. His mind already raced, calculating the next steps. Asel's purple eyes gazed softly, a blush dusting her cheeks. In this quiet moment, a subtle shimmer surrounded her, hinting at a fresh beginning. Lin Luo let out a soft breath, a subtle smirk playing on his lips. With Asel close by, a rare moment of ease settled over him. Maybe, just maybe, things weren't so bad after all. Lin Luo's relaxed moment vanished as he turned, reminding a startled Asel about their unaddressed business. Her eyes widened, clearly caught off guard. Lin Luo, his gaze firm, set a 4-day deadline for their next meeting. Asel, caught completely off guard, could only stare, bewildered by his sudden, precise instruction. Lin Luo waved a casual goodbye, leaving a bewildered Asel stunned in the village square. His cryptic promise of meeting when the moon is up only deepened her confusion. Lin Luo draws his sword, his eyes sharp. He warns Asel of consequences if she fails to meet him, leaving her utterly terrified, her fear palpable. Lin Luo strides away, a chilling warning echoing behind him. Asel stands frozen, utterly bewildered by his abrupt, menacing departure. Asel stood frozen, her mind still reeling. Utterly bewildered, she could only stare, trying to grasp Lin Luo's chilling ultimatum. Lin Luo stood alone, gazing at the quaint house bathed in sunlight, a moment of quiet reflection amidst the green forest. Crimson roses shimmered with a soft glow. A hesitant thought echoed in his mind. Would such a simple gesture be a bit too much? Lin Luo stood, a subtle blush on his cheeks, clutching a simple bouquet. His heart pounded as he remembered her fondness for flowers, hoping his hurried gift would suffice. Lin Luo walked away from the quiet house clutching the flowers with a conflicted mind. Should he really throw them away after all this? The door creaked open, revealing bare feet in simple sandals. I was wondering who was outside, a calm voice offered from within. Caught off guard, Lin Luo stood flustered, clutching the flowers as the woman in the doorway recognized him. "It was you, Ronan?" she asked, a gentle smile on her face. Lin Luo froze, his golden eye wide. The unexpected recognition as Ronan sent a flush across his face, a bead of sweat tracing his temple. Asterisk. She remembered him. Under the crimson rain, Lin Luo's soldier days haunted him. He constantly wondered what to say to her again, sorry for leaving or that he missed her. Amidst the crimson rain, Lin Luo's battle-hardened gaze pierced through, blood on his lips. His transforming hand hinted at the disciplined soldier's grim resolve, a reflection of burdens he carried. The path ahead splits, mirroring the two who stand. One carries the scars of a battlefield, the other the quiet hope of a new beginning. A warm smile blossomed on the rustic house occupant's face. Her golden eyes sparkled with joy as she greeted him. "You're home early today." The gentle welcome offered a momentary calm. With flowers in hand, Lin Luo offered a gentle smile. "I'm back," his heart whispered as the rustic house occupant greeted him with a joyful open welcome. A simple, warm meal awaited, with mushroom soup and fresh provisions spread on the checkered table. A quiet moment of comfort, a stark contrast to the storm brewing outside. A warm smile graces Earl's face as she receives the flowers from her brother. A moment of gentle happiness finally easing his heavy heart. Earl beamed, clutching the flowers with overwhelming joy. Lin Luo, flustered and with a hint of relief, simply mumbled, "I'm glad you like it." Earl's endless care overwhelmed Lin Luo. He politely tried to refuse more stew, flustered by her boundless, comforting hospitality. This simple warmth was a stark contrast to his past. In the cozy kitchen, Lin Luo calmly asks Earl her age, her eyes widen in genuine surprise, breaking the quiet warmth of their meal. Dried herbs hung in the cozy kitchen. Earl, surprised, scolded Lin Luo for forgetting something so vital, but he simply confessed he had. Amidst Earl's warm concern, Lin Luo's mind was sharp. He connected her age to a hidden calculation, a key to his mission. A towering winged entity appeared, its silent presence announcing a chilling truth. Only 10 years remained until the invasion began. Lin Luo's golden eye widened, his own hand pressed to his head. A sharp gasp escaped him as a painful, crucial realization about his past hit him. Earl, concerned, checked his forehead. Her golden eyes widened with worry and a soft blush, just as Lin Luo remembered his sister to be. Earl gently touched Lin Luo's forehead, her eyes filled with worry. He felt her unwavering kindness, still as bright and warm as his memories. As Earl gently checked his forehead, a profound warmth filled Lin Luo. He wished this peaceful moment, bathed in her care, could last forever. Earl's warm hand settled on Lin Luo's head. His resolve hardened. In 10 years he would protect this world, and her. Earl leaned in close to Lin Luo, her hand gently on his shoulder, her wide eyes serious. "I have something to tell you," she confessed, making him react with a surprised, "Huh? What?" Lin Luo offered a knowing smile, his hand gently held, as he spoke of a new path, entering the academy, a future now within his grasp. Earl's golden eyes widened in shock, her mouth agape. "The academy?" she gasped, clearly taken aback by Lin Luo's sudden declaration. Earl's face glowed, pure joy and surprise in her wide golden eyes. She smiled brightly, reacting to Lin Luo's unexpected decision, a burst of delight filling the room. Earl practically vibrated with joy, clutching Lin Luo's hands as he, a bit flustered, confirmed his academy plans. Her excitement was undeniable. Earl darted off with a joyful bounce, bustling with newfound purpose. Lin Luo could only stare in wide-eyed surprise. His sister was a whirlwind now. Earl's boundless joy over Lin Luo's academy plans sent the kitchen into a whirlwind. Lin Luo could only offer a flustered thanks amidst the flying objects. Lin Luo watched, surprised, as Earl's boundless joy sent a large cooking pot soaring. Her energetic frenzy filled the room with chaotic, happy sparks. Lin Luo peered up, utterly surprised, as Earl, brimming with joy, presented a surprise gift from the pot. What could it be? Lin Luo was stunned, staring at the pot overflowing with shining gold coins. Earl, beaming, confessed it was her secret savings, a surprise gift meant just for him. Lin Luo stood, overwhelmed by Earl's incredible generosity. A flustered smile and sweat dotted his face as he processed her heartwarming, unexpected gift of gold for his academy. Lin Luo stood firm, gently refusing Irl's overwhelming gift. His sister looked up, confused by his unexpected words. Irl's golden eyes widened. Lin Luo, unwavering, finally revealed his destination. The Imperial School, Filian Academy. His declaration hung in the air, firm and resolute. Irl stood wide-eyed, her golden gaze fixed on Lin Luo. His academy revelation left her utterly surprised, a subtle blush on her cheeks hinting at her flustered state. The peaceful calm of Irl's home was suddenly broken. Lin Luo had just named the academy, and Irl's shocked cry of "W-A-E-A-T" echoed loudly across the tranquil scene. And so, a new path opened. Before Lin Luo stood Filion Academy, its grand spires touching the sunlit sky, a beacon of the Empire's best. Filion Academy awaited, a beacon of knowledge. Its halls boasted the continent's finest professors and boundless imperial wealth, promising an unparalleled education. Filion Academy truly lives up to its name, a place that forges heroes. Grand Commander Adishan, resolute and powerful, stands as proof, alongside the shadowed, potent presence of Swordmaster Shulifin. Within the Academy's formidable walls, dangerous legacies and hidden powers lay in wait. From renowned heroes to the worst criminals, countless formidable talents gleamed in the shadows, beckoning to be plundered. Even covered in the grime of battle, Grand Commander Adishan's gaze remained sharp. She remembered Filion's people were indeed useful in war, just as she had been told. Lin Los walked the quiet forest path, his backpack heavy. Filion Academy's demanding entry and steep fees weighed on his mind. Each step took him closer to his new challenge. Lin Luo looks away, flustered, as Irl beams with pure encouragement. Her enthusiastic reaction is more than he ever expected. Lin Luo's golden eyes gleamed with fierce resolve. He would prove himself, a silent promise echoing in his heart to show her the results. Lin Luo halted, surprised by the unexpected figure in the quiet night forest. His journey to the academy had just taken an unforeseen turn. Asel, her pink hair framing wide, startled eyes in the dark forest, corrected Lin Luo's mistaken address. "It's not Masel, it's Asel." A nervous silence hung between them. Asel caught up to Lin Luo in the gloomy forest, clearly annoyed. Lin Luo, with a sly grin, simply brushed her concerns aside. Tonight, Lin Luo declared their night would be busy, revealing a test for Asel. She recoiled, utterly surprised by his unexpected challenge. Asel looked stunned as Lin Luo gave a vague, dismissive answer to her question, his hand gesturing casually in the dark forest. Lin Luo smirked, a hint of fang showing as he pointed directly at Asel. "Use your telekinesis on me," he commanded, ready for her to begin his challenging test. With a sly grin, Lin Luo pointed, challenging Asel to unleash her power. "Lift me as high as you can," he commanded, his golden eyes glinting. Asel looked stunned and distressed. Lin Luo's sudden challenge to use telekinesis, just like that, left her utterly bewildered in the dark forest. In the silent forest, Asel hesitantly questioned Lin Luo's dangerous command. But with his back turned, Lin Luo calmly insisted she simply do as he said, his will unwavering. Asel's worried eyes betrayed her fear, but Lin Luo's words made her reluctantly agree. Her magic test was about to begin. Summoning her courage, Asel's hands glowed with pale blue magic. Despite her worry, she began Lin Luo's dangerous test. Asel unleashed her invisible hand, lifting Lin Luo high. He floated, calm and composed, as her telekinetic power swirled around him in the dark forest. Lin Luo hung in midair, his golden eyes wide with profound surprise as Asel's magic lifted him higher. This test was more intense than he expected. Lifted by Asel's magic, Lin Luo felt the power surge. "Oh, would you look at that? It was strong, steady. It's a lot better." As Asel's magic lifted him higher, Lin Luo grinned, his golden eyes wide with surprised satisfaction. Her power was even better than he'd expected. Suspended by Asel's magic, Lin Luo's mind projected a colossal winged demon. He reflected on past threats, sensing what was still lacking in this new power. As Lin Luo reflected, a memory surged forth, the fierce battle against Ahayut. Powerful mages, their magic blazing, fought valiantly amidst the chaos. Suspended by magic, Lin Luo's eyes blaze crimson. He wields a sword engulfed in swirling power, confronting the colossal demon from his memory. Lin Luo wore a sly smirk, surrounded by faint blue magic. A rare ability indeed, especially from a mage, he thought, recognizing the power he now wielded. Asel strained, pushing her magic to its limit. Her power was growing, becoming vital for the looming battle against a Hayut. A sly grin spread across Lin Luo's face, fangs glinting. This was merely the beginning. Asel poured all her will into the spell, pushing her telekinesis to its limits. Sweat streamed down her face as the effort grew intense. This test was truly demanding. Asel strained, near her limit, but Lin Luo merely smirked. "Hold it a little longer," he demanded, his golden eyes gleaming with a hidden purpose. "I have one more thing to check." Asel, strained and exhausted, looked up in shock. Lin Luo's calm words, "I'll come down myself," baffled her. "What do you mean?" she asked, bewildered. Lin Luo's dark, gloved hand firmly gripped his gleaming sword, beginning his self-descent against the sparkling sky. Asel, bewildered by his sudden move, could only question, how? Lin Luo plunged earthward, sword gleaming, a sharp arc of power cutting through the air. His descent was his own, a calculated strike. As Lin Luo descended, Asel watched in utter disbelief. Her wide eyes, surrounded by fading magic, could only gasp, "What is this?" Lin Luo plummeted, his blade cutting through the air, severing the very mana that held him. Asel stared in disbelief, her own magic sliced. Asel stared in disbelief, demanding to know what Lin Luo had done. He simply turned in the dark forest, sword at his hip, calmly calling it an old acrobatic trick. Asel cried out in comical pain, her eyes squeezed shut as a gloved fist delivered a light but firm asterisk thwack asterisk to her head. Her face flushed with frustration. Lin Luo's golden eyes gleamed with resolve as he drew his sword. For him, understanding this new power was the next step. Asel watched, flustered and bewildered by his intensity. Lin Luo's mind projects fragments of formidable, monstrous beings within a shimmering prism as he seeks to understand the true hidden power of his sword. Lin Luo slowly drew his sword, his red eyes serious. "My homework truly begins now," he thought, leaving a flustered Asel bewildered by his intensity. Lin Luo reaches down, helping Asel up. "Anyways, you passed the test, Asel," he declares, his mind already on his next urgent task. Lin Luo tosses his heavy backpack to a stunned Asel, giving urgent commands. Their next crucial task awaits before the moon disappears. Lin Luo's fanged grin cut through the dark night, his urgent demands hanging in the air. This late, Asel's bewildered voice questioned his intent. Under the bright full moon, Lin Luo strides forward, a confident, sly grin playing on his lips. This momentous journey, just beginning, promises to become the first page of his legend. Under the dim light of the moon, Lin Luo strode purposefully through the forest. Asel followed close behind, her eyes wide with surprise as she questioned their destination. Philion Academy. Asel's eyes widened, pink hair framing her stunned face. "Philion Academy? The elite one? Ronan, I heard that wrong, right?" Her voice barely a whisper. In the dark forest, Asel questioned their shared journey. Lin Luo, annoyed, curtly reminded her of his words, pushing them forward into the uncertain night. Lin Luo, annoyed, questioned Asel's hesitation. Her wide eyes reflected confusion as she tried to explain, deep in the dark forest night. Asel fidgeted nervously, her face flushed. She worried aloud, contrasting her own perceived lack of skill with Lin Luo's formidable martial arts talent. Lin Luo's golden eyes were sharp, his voice cutting through the quiet forest night. He challenged Asel, demanding if she truly wanted to live on forever cowardly and timid. In the profound darkness, Asel stands, wide-eyed. Lin Luo's challenge echoes, demanding if she truly desires a life where her innate talent remains wasted. In the dim forest, Lin Luo looked away, his expression serious. "Honestly, you have such idiotic sides to yourself," he stated, challenging Asel. "You're cowardly and timid." Lin Luo's blunt words cut deep, branding Asel a crybaby and loser. She reeled in comical distress, humiliated as his relentless challenge forced her to confront her timid nature head-on. Asel looked up, wide-eyed and flustered, absorbing Lin Luo's words. A chance to change from her timid self. Could she truly begin anew? Lin Luo, with a stern gaze, tells Asel that the time passing now cannot be changed. He presses her to embrace the new path, leaving her timid past behind in the dark forest. Lin Luo, stern and unwavering, delivers a stark warning to a wide-eyed Asel. The weight of his words hangs heavy in the dim forest, a chilling promise of future regret. Lin Luo's golden eye narrowed, a burning resolve reflecting in its depths. His past self stood alone in a desolate wasteland, a heavy sword planted beside him, a silent testament to a painful, solitary journey. Lin Luo's hand rested on Asel's shoulder, his piercing gaze demanding an answer in the dark forest. Asel looked up, her wide eyes reflecting dawning realization. Asel's wide purple eyes stared, her cheeks flushed, as Lin Luo's challenging words finally struck deep, leaving her stunned. Lin Luo calmly offered Asel a choice, giving her the freedom to leave. Asel, wide-eyed and flustered, covered her mouth, utterly stunned by his unexpected consideration. Lin Luo began to walk away, busy with his own path, but Asel, her hands outstretched, called out, a desperate plea to change echoing in the dark forest. A sly grin spread across Lin Luo's face. His challenge was accepted. The path to Filion was set. Lin Luo, acknowledging Asel's newfound resolve and bravery, informed her that her true challenge was about to begin. The path ahead was clear, and it was time to start. Lin Luo grins, his dark face hinting at a cunning plan. Asel stares, wide-eyed and flustered, realizing she's just stepped into something far more intense than she imagined. Asel stared, wide-eyed and flustered, her cheeks burning. Lin Luo's surprising words had caught her completely off guard. Asel peered from the bushes, her face a mix of shock and dawning dread. Lin Luo, ever calm, confirmed her next trial was already upon them, deep within the shadowed forest. Lin Luo's voice cuts through the air. For your true skill to awaken, I've found the perfect opponent. A rugged yellow-green arm, bandaged and scarred, promises a daunting challenge. In the darkness, a fearsome creature emerges, a muscular, green-skinned goblin-like beast with piercing eyes and sharp fangs. This is Asel's true test. The cave floor is littered with defeated green-skinned goblins and scattered bones. At the back, a simple treasure chest rests, a silent reward in the eerie stillness. Lin Luo beamed with triumph, his arm around a bewildered Asel. Isn't it great? He declared. Asel, however, could only stammer in shock, utterly stunned by their latest discovery. After their victory, Lin Luo's golden eyes gleamed with a predatory grin. Now then, shall we get started? He challenged, ready for the next move. Hidden in the dense forest, Lin Luo and Asel watched the menacing lunar goblin. This was Asel's true test, a challenge waiting to erupt. Before Asel, several savage lunar goblins emerged from the shadows. Their deformed yellow bodies and glowing red eyes promised a deadly encounter. The lunar goblin's greedy eyes shone, a wide, wicked grin revealing its fangs as it clutched sparkling gold. This monster, obsessed with treasure, awaited its challenger. The ambush was swift and brutal. Lesser lunar goblins, eyes gleaming with greed, swarmed a bloodied, fallen merchant. Their crude clubs were raised, a chilling testament to the forest's dangers. Under the glowing full moon, grotesque goblins raised their arms in a ritual, celebrating around a treasure-laden tower. Their eerie cries fill the night, a chilling devotion to their spoils. Under the full moon, the golden treasure chest lies open. Its depths overflow with shimmering coins and jewels, the goblins' coveted hoard revealed. Hidden in the shadows, Asel's eyes widened in horror, realizing their true mission. Lin Luo, unwavering, calmly confirmed her dawning, terrifying realization. This was their new battlefield. From the shadows of the bushes, Lin Luo's eyes gleamed with a predatory grin. We're taking all that treasure today, he declared, a daring plan now set. Asel watched, bewildered. Goblins gathering treasure for a festival, she'd never heard of such a strange thing, her eyes wide with disbelief as a goblin relaxed nearby. Asel stared, wide-eyed and bewildered, at Lin Luo. How could he know so much? He simply offered a cryptic, knowing smile, his secrets still hidden. Lin Luo, a sly grin playing on his lips, leans close to a flustered Asel, his eyes gleaming with a daring plan. He tells her to use her magic to steal the goblin's treasure while they sleep. Asel stared wide-eyed, sweat beading on her temple. Lin Luo's simple plan, proving anything but. Her mind raced with all the ways it could go wrong. Trapped in a giant goblin's grasp, Lin Luo and Asel face a terrifying vision. If their plan fails, the consequences could be catastrophic. Asel recoiled in fear, pleading for them to reconsider the dangerous plan. But Lin Luo, annoyance etched on his face, merely dismissed her as a coward. Lin Luo held up 2 fingers, his words sharp as he explained what they needed for Filion. Asel watched, wide-eyed and flustered, trying to keep up. Before them stood the grand Filion Academy, its splendor almost overshadowed by the sparkling mountain of gold coins and jewels. To enter, one would need an unbelievable amount of wealth for its tuition. Forget the cost. True strength is forged in intense battle. Raw magic clashes with sharp steel, proving real experience far outweighs any silver coin. Lin Luo held up 2 fingers, gravely explaining the Academy's elite, aristocratic student body. His piercing gaze conveyed the hidden challenges ahead. Lin Luo stood firm, challenging a fearful Asel. To overcome the coming adversaries, he declared only one brutal path lay before them. Lin Luo's face tightens, a fierce grin stretching across his lips. His golden eyes burn with dangerous resolve, confirming his ruthless philosophy for growth. Experience is gained by risking everything. Hidden in the dark bushes, Lin Luo watches the sleeping goblin with a sly grin. This isn't just a challenge, it's their chance for both gold and strength, a perfect two-in-one opportunity. Acel crumpled, tears streaming down her face, unable to offer a counter. Lin Luo's will was absolute. Their daring plan was set. Lin Luo, a sly grin on his face, declared it was time. Acel, eyes squeezed shut in terror, cowered, utterly overwhelmed by the daunting task ahead. Acel's magic danced, lifting glittering treasures from the sleeping goblins. One by one, the pilfered gold dropped into Lin Luo's bag, filling it with a satisfying clink. Blue magic swirled, effortlessly lifting more goblin treasures, a shiny coin, a pendant, and even a sharp dagger. Almost there, the soft voice urged, focusing on the task. Acel strains with all her might, gasping for breath, as her pale blue magic expertly guides the gleaming coins and a dagger into the overflowing bag. The daring goblin heist is a success. Lin Luo's sharp command cut through the night. Acel's telekinesis swirled around the glittering goblin treasures, now suspended in the air, awaiting their next move. Lin Luo's fangs glinted in a satisfied grin as stolen coins, jewels, and a dagger rained down around him. Their daring plan was a success. Lin Luo looked up with a sly, confident grin. That was the last of it, he mused, pleased with their successful heist. The backpack lay open, overflowing with glittering gold, jewels, and even a small dagger. Their daring goblin treasure heist was undeniably a complete success. Lin Luo beams with triumph, playfully ruffling Acel's hair as their bag overflows with glittering goblin treasure. Acel, overwhelmed, can only flusteredly acknowledge their daring plan actually worked. Lin Luo flashes a sly smirk, playfully tugging at Acel's reddish hair. Her surprising adaptability to his daring plans has clearly impressed him. Lin Luo playfully ruffled Acel's hair, a sly smirk unseen. Her blush and bright smile showed her pride. Indeed, she was far better than he'd imagined. Lin Luo's eyes shone with wicked delight, a manic grin splitting his face as he patted Acel's head. She, in turn, beamed up at him, blushing, utterly pleased. With all the stolen goblin treasure safely packed, Lin Luo stood ready to leave. Acel, still wide-eyed, could hardly believe their daring heist was truly finished. Lin Luo, his gaze sharp, finished packing the last of the glittering loot. Their daring heist was complete. It was time to move. Under the moonlit sky, a profound sense of urgency filled the air. They had to leave this place, now, before any trouble arrived. A dark silhouette of a bird shot through the moonlit forest. Time was short, and the urgency of their escape pressed down on them as they vanished into the night. The forest blurs as two figures dash through, faces grim with urgency. Damn it, one cries, pushing onward. Two figures tore through the moonlit forest, their urgent rush emphasized by the speed lines. A furious voice echoed, "Hey, you stupid chickenhead," as a bat-like creature flew deeper into the woods. As Lin Luo and Acel tried to leave the forest with their loot, a voice echoed through the trees. Caught off guard, they both froze, eyes wide with sudden surprise. As Lin Luo and Acel rushed through the dark forest, a sudden commotion stopped them. What? Lin Luo wondered, a bead of sweat trickling down his temple. What kind of psychos are causing all that racket in the middle of the night? Suddenly, a slumbering lunar goblin's eyes snapped open, its face twisting in a furious snarl. What was that noise? It sensed trouble. A colossal lunar goblin stirred, its peaceful sleep broken by the commotion. Its eyes narrowed, a snarl forming as it looked around the disrupted cave. The goblin's treasure chest lay empty, their gleaming hoard gone. Furious roars erupted as they discovered their shinies vanished, a chaotic awakening to their loss. A furious cry of thieves erupted as the lesser lunar goblins stirred from their slumber. Their eyes snapped open, rage building as the truth dawned, their treasure was gone. The cave erupted. Goblins, now awake and furious, roared about thieves, frantically searching for their stolen hoard. Fury erupted as the lesser lunar goblins snarled. Their stolen treasure, it was truly gone. Chaos reigned. As enraged goblins closed in, Lin Luo and Acel pushed through the shadowed forest, their escape now a frantic race. Lin Luo wore a sly grin, pleased with their daring heist, but Acel, overwhelmed, stared in utter shock. The goblin's furious chaos had caught her completely off guard, making her mind scream, "Oh crap!" The forest erupted in furious roars, Lin Luo and Acel looked down, startled, as the enraged goblins below them let out a deafening cry, realizing their treasure was gone. Acel's piercing shriek cut through the night. Her eyes wide with pure terror, she clutched her face, the chaotic goblin roars echoing their enraged discovery. Lin Luo sighed, his premonition confirmed. As the forest roared with goblin fury, Acel slumped to the ground, the daring heist finally catching up to them both. Worn out and panicking, Acel frantically suggested abandoning their hard-won loot. But Lin Luo, determined as ever, firmly rejected the idea, his hand already reaching for his sword. Lin Luo's hand instinctively went to his sword. The goblin hordes were closing in, and a new fight for tuition and survival was about to begin. The goblins' enraged roars echoed. A horde of fierce lesser lunar goblins charged through the dark forest, their glowing red eyes fixed on Lin Luo and Acel, closing in. The enraged goblins surge forward, their roars filling the air. Acel screams in terror behind him, but Lin Luo, drawing his gleaming sword, stands resolute, ready to face the impending clash. Lin Luo gripped his longsword, his golden eyes sharp. He carefully assessed the blade, calculating its strength, a crucial moment of preparation before the clash. Lin Luo's golden eyes narrowed, his gaze fixed on the blade. He silently calculated its limits, knowing how few strikes it might endure before the desperate fight ahead. Lin Luo faced them, a grim realization settling in. Over 30 enraged goblins charged, their red eyes burning, ready for a brutal fight. A monstrous lesser lunar goblin lunged forward, its sharp claws extended, red eyes blazed, and a fanged snarl filled the air, a direct attack unleashed. Acel's terrified cry cut through the dark forest. Lin Luo, shield-like, gripped his sheathed sword, her desperate call echoing his grim resolve against the encroaching goblin horde. "Watch out!" Lin Luo's eyes narrowed, sword raised. A monstrous, clawed goblin hand lunged, aiming for him. 15 attacks, he thought, bracing for the onslaught. Lin Lu's grip tightened, his blade meeting the attack with a sharp asterisk clash asterisk. The fight had truly begun. Lin Luo's sword flashed, a brilliant arc cutting through the darkness. "That's enough," he declared, as goblin heads flew, brutally ending the horde's charge. The blade flashed, a crimson spray painting the night. Several goblin heads flew, their snarls silenced mid-air. Lin Luo's counter was swift and brutal. Acel watched, wide-eyed and terrified. Lin Luo's blade had turned the frenzied goblins into a spray of blood and severed heads. Lin Luo's sword gleamed with fresh blood. Each drop falling spoke of the brutal, swift attack that had just ended, painting the sky crimson. Lin Luo grimaced, fresh blood splattering from the goblin beneath him. 14 left, he thought, his golden eyes burning with ruthless resolve.